Okay, so take two. I think one of the worst experiences of broken trust for me was, and again, I find that expressing this, getting it out, saying it, helps me to get over it all because I want to learn how to rebuild trust. I want to be able to trust again, but at the moment, with everything, I feel like I just can't trust. And that's not a good thing. So I'd like to be able to trust again. So one of the worst experiences of broken trust for me was in December of 2021. Grant and I, we were ready to meet up again in January. He had lied to me about meeting up with his ex-wife for Christmas. I told him it made me uncomfortable with, the fact that we were in a relationship, and on the track that we were going on, I even have proof of intimate things and other things that we shared, like sexting and stuff. I have proof of all of that. So, the fact that we were in a relationship and we were on track to, we were going on, so he told me that he hadn't been organizing it, which he actually had been trying to organize a Christmas barbecue or something like that with his ex-wife, which I found out through one of his friends, unfortunately. So I confronted him about it, what about this, and that made him uncomfortable. But anyways, we continued. Hold on. Yes, I did write this out ahead of time because I stutter and stumble in videos where I'm trying to be concise and I ramble. We exchanged Christmas gifts. I bought him a bunch of things. He bought me this beautiful pendant with my birthstone in it for Christmas. Then I became very ill, and I was bedridden for about 5 days, like literal hell for about 5 days. I was very sick, and I was laying on the couch for 5 times 24, 5 days. Insanity. I couldn't get up, I couldn't eat, I couldn't do anything. I just had to lay there and whatever. I had already been alone before that for about a week. I was in an isolated little mountain town, which was isolating and very depressing for me, which obviously I was able to move out of it about a year later, but and he knew that either way. So we booked a flight so I had been out there in Melbourne. Anyway, so it's right around Christmas time. We booked a flight for me to go out to Australia for a visit. He helped pay for it, and it was several $100s. We had already been talking together for about 5 years at this point, long distance, and had about roughly probably about 8 to 10 trips together already by this time. In 2019, I went out there for 4 months, worked in his business. The last time He'd been out here, it was 2020. He'd been out here for a couple months. I'd been out there in Melbourne earlier 2021, having to quarantine in Sydney for 2 weeks in a hotel. The subject of talking to his ex-wife had come up before because he kept on insisting he wanted to remain friends with her, which I was cool with, but it got weird when I found out they were sharing. It got weird when, sorry, one sec. Okay, so to continue, so I was cool with that, but because he kept on insisting he wanted to remain friends with her, which I was cool with, but at the same time, I didn't want me to be like a secret and it to be weird. Oh, this is getting jumpy. Oh dear. Okay, hopefully this is good now. Anyway, so basically so the subject of talking with his ex-wife had come up before, and he was like, oh no, she doesn't like you, I'll talk to her, it's fine. I was like, wait, so like you insist on being friends with her, but she doesn't like me? She's not supportive of you having a relationship with me, and yet you insist on maintaining a friendship with her. That's something in there is a red flag or is weird, or like I'm allowing an enemy to come into the picture. And so it goes. She doesn't like you. She doesn't want to talk to you. I'm like, sorry, my dear. She doesn't even know me. Not really. She sees me through a filter or a lens of, which I won't get into right now. Okay, so where was I? Kept on insisting he wanted to remain friends with her, which I was cool with, but it got weird when I found out they were sharing each other's real-time location on Life 360, as well as him doing favors for her and hanging out with her at her home and taking her to lunch, etc. I was not okay with them sharing real-time location. Like, I don't want some other woman seeing where my boyfriend is in real time, and like, that's weird. Like, just weird, right? But hey, if you guys insist it, then let me in on the picture and don't keep me a secret and don't lie about me, okay? Anyway, whether he was just playing with me and lying to her about it and trying to get back together with her, or he just felt guilty about getting together with me after splitting with her, I don't know. Either way, the whole situation made me really uncomfortable. So, being a naturally nice person, I am actually very nice, until I'm not. And since I wanted to be cool about it all, while still maintaining my own boundaries on the whole thing, and not have it be weird, and me be on the other end to be a secret from her or whatever, I suggested that I contact her, Teresa, and just get in touch and see if we could be friends. And then I asked Grant about it, and he was fine with this. He said, yeah, sure, okay, it's fine if you want to do that. Because, I was coming out there soon, and if all is fine and good and there are no hidden agendas or weird things happening, this should not have been a problem. And I was, that I was in the picture, and I was reaching out to her in a direct and friendly way to meet up when I went out there. Sadly, within a few days of booking the flight, his father passed away. I felt really helpless on how to be there for him from afar. As his girlfriend, I wanted to be able to comfort him as much as he needed. Within a few days after that, I started to recover from what felt like being deathly ill myself and reached out to Teresa to try to communicate with her in preparation for going out there within a couple of weeks. I didn't address the family death, just because I didn't know what, I didn't know how they spoke or like what he had told her. Just my relationship with her and trying to establish a connection and communication with her. I tried to reach her through Facebook, but it didn't seem like I could. I called Grant to get an email address for her, nonchalantly, thinking this was no big deal. He immediately blew up at me, started yelling at me on the phone about it. She had sent the message to him and was apparently complaining about it. I was in shock about what had happened. I was in shock by what had happened, and I tried to resolve what had happened. Just, like, what the heck, and tried to talk. However, sadly, within minutes of him screaming on me at me on the phone about it, he had hung up on me and blocked me everywhere on the internet, leaving me devastated and absolutely dumbfounded. I can't tell you what emotional turmoil this put me through. It made me feel crazy, like I can't describe not being able to communicate with someone after that happened. I'd never been blocked like that before. It was really, really damaging to me. I had no one else in my life at that point to rely on for communication, and I went through weeks of depression and wanting to myself and completely shut down and just drank alcohol to try to shut out the feelings. Plus, I also lived in an isolated small town in a Pine Mountain town, which he knew, which also made me feel bonkers. Let's just put it that way. It was horrible. We later reestablished communication. He told me that he had told her I was delusional and crazy. And then from a recent conversation with him on September 7th, 2024, he told me he doesn't remember telling her that. I brought it up because we had started talking seriously again about the future, and there was lots of flirting going on, and we were having nice conversations, and obviously it's not me. I'm not the problem, and I know that now. It was only when I brought up her and, either make me known or make a choice and choose me. That's it. And then he cut me off. Got upset and cut me off. Oh well. You gotta have boundaries and standards, and the way I put it across was not in a mean or destructive way. I've already been down this path before, and I went through months of depression over it, and it ruined me, and it ruined my ability to trust again. And I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to go through that pain, and I don't want to be the side chick that he gets to flirt with and, suggest that he wants nudes from, and yet he can't even talk about me to the other people he's got in his life. I'm not going to be used. Not anymore. It was because of this that when he was being flirty, sexual, and nudging for nudes and indicating that he would come here to see me again, like he did before, and then bailed out again when the subject of commitment comes up. Again, it's not me. It's not that there's something wrong with me or that I did something wrong. It's not. Indicating he would come here like he promised, maybe within about 6 months if he get his ducks in a row. And then we had been having nice conversations and I was being nice and sweet with him. Then I told him, either you make a choice and choose me, or let her know about me that I'm on the other end and I'm not a secret, or we don't talk like this anymore. And he made his choice. He couldn't confront telling her about me and decided to choose to hurt me instead. Which of course resulted in him getting upset with me and choosing her over choosing nothing, because he had been lying to both sides and keeping things secret from both sides. It's disappointing to me that he's not going to follow through on what he said he would do with me. So there you go.